Good day and welcome to an exclusive preview of the RAPS eCornell Leadership Certificate Program. As Robin mentioned, my name is Tiffany Coleman, the Marketing Manager for Professional Development at RAPS. In today's webcast, we will share Cornell University's background and design methodology. We will cover the program structure, what it entails, and how you can become a part of this exciting program, along with hearing from a recent graduate. So we will then open it up to a live Q&A where you can ask your questions. But just to get started here at the RAPS eCornell Regulatory Certificate Program, you will learn modern day business and leadership lessons in a flexible online setting with courses personally developed by Cornell faculty and experts. The program runs from November through May, beginning with an orientation on November 3rd and concluding with a capstone experience in May. So let's get started. I would like to introduce and welcome Stephanie Boyd, Learning Consultant with eCornell and Cornell University.
Thank you, Tiffany. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you, and thank you for joining us today. So as Tiffany and Robin said, my name is Stephanie Boyd. I'm a learning consultant with eCornell. What that means is if you join the program, I am your main point of contact as you go through your courses and you earn your certificate. Any questions that you have at any point in the process, you can reach out to me and I'm here for you. Troubleshooting, content-related questions, anything at all that you need, you have a main Cornell point of contact and resource. So let's go ahead and get started and talk more about this exciting certificate. Here is a list also of all the topics that we'll be covering today. As Tiffany said, please use the Q&A box if you have any questions, and then we'll make sure we leave plenty of time at the end to answer any other questions that you may have. So first of all, I want to give all of you a very warm welcome to Cornell University and to eCornell. For those of you who may not know, Cornell University is an Ivy League school located in upstate New York in the Finger Lakes region. We were founded in 1865 under the founding principle of any person, any study. Currently, Cornell enrolls over 25,000 degree students across 3 campuses. We have 16 colleges, we have notable alumni, 50 Nobel laureates, 8 astronauts, CEOs and C-suite executives of lots of major corporations. eCornell is the online learning arm of the university, and we enroll over 65,000 annual students who take over 250,000 courses a year. We have almost 10,000 annual students from outside of the US. And we currently have over 240 certificate programs, over 980 courses, and all of that is to say that we have worked closely with the team at RAPS, and we have curated an excellent program for you. We have taken some of the best courses in our portfolio and have created and customized this certificate for you and your RAPS colleagues. And we are very, very excited to have you join our robust learning community. So I want to first talk a little bit about the methodology, what to expect, course format, all of that good stuff. So all of our course content is developed and authored by Cornell faculty. We work with our faculty to ensure that the learnings are interactive with immediately applicable takeaways for you, for RAPS, for your organizations that you are working with, and that they are geared for an online professional audience. All of your courses in the program do stack to a co-issued Cornell and RAPS certificate. You can see an example of what that looks like here. And then talking about the specific format. So as I'm sure you have all seen in the literature, this certificate is made up of 6 unique courses and a final capstone session. Each of the courses are 3 weeks in length. This is an added bonus for the RAPS program. Typically, our courses are 2 weeks in length, but we are giving you an extra week as part of this program, give you a little bit more time. I know you all have busy work-life schedules, so we're just giving a little bit extra time to complete each course. All of our courses begin on a Wednesday, so just if you were looking at that schedule, if you were planning out your time commitments, just know all of those start dates are Wednesday, and I'll show those dates momentarily. You can expect to devote about 8 to 12 hours total time for each course. So each course you'll have, it's a time-bound asynchronous format. So within those 3 weeks, you can complete the course content on your own schedule in a time that works best for you. But just know that it will take about 8 to 12 hours to complete each course. You can access the content anytime, anywhere. There is no specific time you need to be online to complete the content. That being said, everyone who enrolls in this program will take these courses together as a RAPS cohort. This is a great benefit because you will be getting to know each other over the course of these 6 courses. You will be working together. You will be participating in online discussion threads. You will be engaging with one another in optional live sessions, and you will be engaging more fully in that capstone session, which rounds out the program. So while all of the content in each course is asynchronous, we do have optional live sessions, and these are run by our facilitators. Each course is facilitated by an instructor, and this person has experience in the field, either as an academic or a practitioner, or oftentimes both. They bring a rich set of experiences to share with you during the program. And during these live sessions, this is an opportunity to ask questions about the content, do a deeper dive in some of the concepts and explore them more fully, and also share examples, share challenges that you might be experiencing in your own work life, hear from other folks in your cohort about how they might be tackling certain issues or dealing with certain concepts that you're learning in the course. So these live sessions are a really beneficial part of the program, and we strongly encourage you to attend them. Each course will have 2 sessions. They're about 30 minutes each, but of course, if the conversations are flowing, sometimes they go a little bit longer. We work with our facilitators to try to find an optimal timing for the live sessions, to try to touch upon every time zone. But of course, we want to work with the cohort, and if we receive feedback that a time isn't working, or there's other suggestions, we absolutely have in the past pivoted and can continue to pivot and make sure those live sessions work best for the group. So but we also understand people's schedules are busy. You may not be able to attend every single live session. That's completely fine. It does not count towards your course or certificate completion if you are unable to attend all the sessions. Talking about more of the courses themselves, all of our courses are made up of many different modalities. There are short faculty videos, short readings, downloadable tools and resources, quizzes and knowledge checks, ways to practice some of the concepts that you've been learning. There are interviews with experts in the field, and all of our courses include a multi-part project that you will work on during the duration of the course. I'll show you what all of this looks like when I actually dive into a course environment and click through it, and you can see what all this looks like. Then all of this will become crystallized, but just know that there's lots of different assignment types. Also, some of the work that you'll be doing, like the live sessions, like the discussion threads, those are collaborative. You'll be engaging with your colleagues, but just know that the course projects that you are submitting, that is just between you and the facilitator. So you can get a little bit more candid about some of your challenges or some of your experiences, knowing that the entire cohort won't be reading your projects. So now that you have a little bit of a background, I just want to remind you all of what the courses are and then what the dates are, so that you can ensure that this schedule, this program works best for you. Like I said, each course is open for 3 weeks in length, and that gives you more than enough time. You're spreading your 8 to 12 hours over those 3 weeks. So if for example, you might have a conflict during one of those weeks, you can either front load or back load some of your course assignment and your coursework to help manage around busy times at work, personal obligations that may be occurring during these timeframes. But you have more than enough time per course to weave that into your busy schedules. Before I do a deeper dive and more of a conversation about the courses themselves and what other resources are available to you at Cornell, I do want to introduce our alumni, Maria Perota. She is an alumni from last year's RAPS cohort. And in addition to completing the certificate program, Maria has also taken other certificates with Cornell. Maria, I believe you've taken change management, executive leadership. I think you also then earned your performance leadership certificate. So you have a lot of touch points with Cornell, and I think the group would really love to hear your experiences with this certificate, what you thought of the courses, what you made of it, and also just the best way that you've navigated through the course environment, how you fit this into your busy schedule, and kind of how it's contributed to your success post-program. I know that's a lot of questions, but we'll take them one by one.
Excellent. Please, I apologize. I'm driving as I'm navigating all of this. So yes, so I want to tell you that I'm extremely pleased to join and offer some insights from my participation in the respective certificates. I'm a lifelong learner, and I encourage anyone who has that appetite to learn and take on new concepts and apply them in real time in their professional and even personal lives, to really avail themselves of these opportunities, because I found these certificates extremely enriching in my own career. It was a significant boost to my promotability as well within my organization. And in fact, I proactively took it upon myself to do a number of certificates in the field of leadership, because I had been promoted to a global VP position in my former organization. And, given the current context of our industry, and I refer to whether your industry is in pharmaceutical like mine is, or in government, there's a lot of influx, and there's a lot of, changes and evolution in the landscape of where we work and how we work. And this kind of a learning platform for me was really an incredible boost to my learning capabilities, because it offered me the flexibility that I needed while still being very engaged and very committed to my new role, to my responsibilities, and to my team. And I especially would recommend that people, try to fit into their schedule those live interactive sessions, because in as much as you get great content from the faculty, from the materials provided, from the projects that we're asked to work on, and the discussion boards, when you meet with your facilitator in those live sessions and with other participants around the world who are able to share their experiences, you realize how much. So I just wanted to emphasize the spirit of community, learning community, that this type of methodology and platform offers to individuals like myself and others who are lifelong learners and want to, not only renew their skills, but, strengthen and build on their skills while working in a full-time capacity. And it's not for the faint of heart, but I found that if you're committed, it's an incredibly enriching experience. And I really appreciated, to subsidize some of these, and not all, and not fully, but a significant portion of these certificates can be subsidized by your employer. And it's an incredible win-win situation for everyone involved if you're able to bring that additional expertise to the table when you're interacting with your peers, with your direct reports, and with upper management.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Maria, for that perspective. In the Q&A, if anybody has any questions for Maria, please feel free to ask. And I know we won't keep you for too much longer, but is there anything that you would recommend to the group maybe a best practice for how you manage to get through all of the courses while balancing your work life, getting promoted, all of that exciting stuff? Any tips that you have to navigate the program?
I can tell you that, the range of time that you invest in the program is really self-directed. There's a minimum, like you had mentioned in your introduction, but I found that I often put more effort into, the projects that I was working on, the exchanges that I had on discussion boards, because I found that that was really a benefit to me. As much as you put in, you get out of this. Considering the current context of your work environment. And so if you have real life examples that you're able to integrate and embed within those multi-project learning opportunities, you get also excellent feedback from the facilitator afterwards as to how you may, continue to learn and progress on some of the challenges that you wrote about in those projects. So I found that giving yourself enough bandwidth to be able to invest the time that you want to put into it, and it sometimes is above and beyond the 8 to 12 hours, and oftentimes it was for me, but it really was very well served, because I got the best out of the experience, given the kind of content that I had to work with, and the reflections that it led to in terms of what to develop in those assignments and projects.
That is a really great point. Thank you for bringing that up, Maria. Yeah, absolutely. It is definitely key that the more you put in, the more you get out, the more you engage and participate and create thoughtful responses, the better the outcome and the more applicable and beneficial your course projects, your engagement levels, all of that will be. So thank you so much for highlighting that.
You're very welcome.
Tiffany, anything you have to ask Maria before we continue on?
No, I think she hit everything. We really appreciate you joining and sharing your experience with the program, Maria.
Yes, thank you so much. I apologize. I could not put my camera on because I'm driving, but I do appreciate being asked to share my insights, and I'm committed in this field of leadership. And I'm also very impressed with how RAPS has collaborated with eCornell to bring really excellent type of learning opportunities and credentialing that can be done at any time, with the agility that is necessary to navigate everything that we have to do in a given day in our professional lives.
That's so wonderful. Thank you, Maria.
Yes, thank
Thank
you so
you.
much, Maria. So good to see you
Have a good.
again, and take care, drive safely, and
Thank you.
we'll probably see you again soon.
Yes, thank you so much. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, great. Well, so I will then move it back into our slide presentation. So the next thing that I want to touch upon is just the course environment. So we gave you an overview of generally what kind of components the courses are made up of, but to do a deeper dive and to show you a little bit more about what that looks like, let me go ahead and rather than just showing you slides of what a course environment looks like, I'm going to switch my screens, and it looks like that's showing up. So I just wanted to pop in, highlight 3 of the courses in the program and just walk through them, give you a little bit more detail and in broad strokes how the platforms are set up. When we have our orientation, we'll go into more detail, more technical elements, how to submit your assignments, how to check your grades, all of those important details. But for now, I just want to paint a big picture about what to expect. So the first course that I want to highlight is the first one, Strategic Decision Making. And these are all demo versions of the course. So you can see there's just some information, but it's not fully built out with learners, and you won't see any assignment submissions. So first of all, the way that all of our courses are navigated, and this is all on the Canvas platform for any of you who may have had any leadership training in the past, and this looks familiar to you. First, if you look on the homepage, you will see that there is a course overview, and then there is a module by module overview. So this will talk about what each module, the topic, and then what the learning outcomes are. So for module 1, deliberate, delegate, trust your gut, your learning outcome, you will be respond decisively and consistently when faced with situations that require a decision. So within this module, you'll see that there are 3 videos, 1 downloadable tool, 1 quiz, 1 required discussion, 1 course project. And that is the way that all of our other subsequent modules are organized throughout the course. So you can see module 2, identify alternatives, determine the most important features of the decision you need to make based on setting and context. You can see this is 3 videos, 1 quiz, 1 tool, 1 project component. And then as you continue to explore all the remaining modules, it will follow a similar format. You can also see all of this information on the left-hand navigation panel. As you click through the courses and you go through all the content, it will become grayed out. So that way, when you log back in, you can jump right in where you left off. You know exactly where you were, and you don't have to try to figure out, wait a minute, was I module, where did I leave off? So it's very easily organized, very easy to navigate. And then you can see just some of the talking more fully about the subject in the strategic decision making. We have the so we have deliberate, delegate, trust your gut, identify alternatives, account for biases, gather and weigh information, valuing risk and outcomes, following through, and then submitting your final element of your course project document. I also do want to just quickly show you up at the top, there's a lot of features with quick links, announcements from your facilitator, syllabus that will show you the grading rubric, quick link to the grades page so you can see your assignment completion status is, and then just overall course details. Student lounge, this is where you would go to introduce yourself, meet your course colleagues, just share information about yourself so you get to learn and know more about each other. And then there's also just a section about previewing your course project. So when I click over to that, you can see what the course project is. You can read all of the different elements, identifying decision alternatives, what the main function of that is. As I said, all of the course projects, they are all short form answers. So it's all just a series of short questions, short input answers that rely on direct experience, issues you might be facing, and then all of that information. Sometimes people ask me in sessions, well, what kind of citations do I need to do? What kind of research do I need to do? Don't worry, it's not that kind of course project. We're not putting you back into a traditional college classroom. All of this is application-based, benefiting you as an adult learner and benefiting, as Maria highlighted, all of what you can take back to your organization, what you can take back on your next leadership and career journey. So then you can see the remaining parts of the course projects. You can look through, you can read about all those exciting elements that you're working on, drawing causal map, addressing biases, investigating risk evaluation, planning. So this is just a snapshot of the strategic decision-making course. Moving over to, I believe, the 3rd course in the series, which is Leading with Credibility, you can see again that there is the overall course overview. You can see modules include establishing credibility baseline, optimizing follow-through, enacting espoused values, fostering credibility culture, and then completing your final project. Looking at the course looking in some of the modules by that, you can then see that there is that mix of videos, tools, readings, lots of ways to kind of validate and practice and test some of the information that you're learning. In this course specifically, you create a journal that you're working on throughout the course, and then you will be submitting elements of that journal, elements of that course project. So I see that the question came in about what kind of interactions you'll have with your cohort. So I think that's a great time. I can answer that now. So as you can see, there are all of these little talk bubbles. These are ways that you will engage with your course colleagues. You can see there's a couple discussions where either you're sharing an example from your own situations, or maybe you are analyzing, they walk you through a scenario or an example, and then you're kind of providing ways to change or improve upon that scenario, what you would have done differently. So all of these are discussion elements. And as Maria said, you will be contributing a response. You will then be asked to engage with others on their responses, read their examples, interact, respond to them, be like, that's a really great scenario. This is what I would have done in that situation, or I've actually experienced that same issue. And, this is what I used in the past. So really make the most out of these discussions, really use those to your advantage. Keep coming back, keep participating. Those are really great ways to interact with your colleagues. You also will have those live sessions from the facilitators, and you can see up at the top on the homepage, there's a quick link to the live sessions. You'll also be emailed this information. I'll go through in more detail during the orientation about adding this to your calendar, but those are great ways to interact with each other. So lots of important interaction that you'll be able to have with your colleagues during the program. To round out just what I was showing you from a course environment, then I will just highlight the last course in this series, which is addressing dysfunctional ethical cultures. As you can see, we have the course overview about examining social and organizational pressures, how they can lead to unethical cultures. It explores case studies of ethical scandals and provides strategies to improve organizational ethics. So all really timely, important information. And then same thing, you can see the different modules, what those topics are. You can look at the course project here about the different topic areas and what you'll be learning. Really timely, interesting topics as it relates to dysfunctions in ethical culture. So all of that is just the ways that you can navigate the courses, what kind of information, what kind of projects, how all of that looks. I see we have a question about examples about the projects or assignments. So I think I'm answering that in real time about what those projects look like. I have multiple courses open and it tends not to like that. So, but otherwise, let me just click through. If I look at the module and I show you an example of what your course project looks like, you will see. Of course, doing a demo in real time is risky. You will see there's information, first of all, about the grading rubrics. Then you will see that there are just short form questions that you are going through during the course, during that course project component. So that's a general look to see what that looks like. And of the 8 to 12 hours you spend during a course, about half that time is spent on the course project. So you can expect, 6 hours or so, 4 to 6 hours on that. And then the rest of the time you're going through the content. I also do want to just highlight one interesting element for the videos. So you can see all of our videos with faculty, they're all relatively short, 5, 6, 8 minutes each. When you click on a video, you can see the faculty, you can see the information. This is so funny. I actually grew up in Kew Gardens, Queens. So funny to pick that video, but anyway, so you could see the faculty. You can see there's also a transcript or closed captioning, and you can see there's also a transcript. So you can follow along with the videos. You can move to different sections of the videos if you want to review some of the concepts further. These are just ways to help you if maybe English isn't your first language, or if you're a more visual learner. I know I'm a visual learner. So it's just ways that we help navigate the platform and make it more accessible. So now that you have a bit of an understanding what to expect, what your courses look like, I do want to see if there's any other questions. So are there RAC credits? We do have, so our courses do align with some professional credentialing associations. I have to double check and look on that. I don't think RAC credits are part of the certificate, but we'll definitely get back to you on that. And then in terms of a question on prerequisites and preparation that came in, so before your courses launch, before your first course launches on November 5th, there is no preparation, there is no pre-work, just attend the orientation session. And that is also when you will get your enrollment credentials. I saw that was another question that popped in, that if you've signed up for the program already, you will be formally enrolled on Monday, November 3rd. We will have our orientation session. That's when we'll officially kick everything off, and that's when you will get access to the platform. The courses themselves don't become live until their respective start dates, but there are other things you can do. You can kind of poke through a sample course environment, just get yourself familiarized with the platform, get yourself set up for success, make sure all the technology works, that your browsers are compatible, all of that important logistics elements. That's what you would need to do before the official courses kick off, but there's no pre-reading, no pre-assignments, anything like that. So let me switch back to my slideshow. We also, as part of your participation in the program, there are some optional resources that are available to you at Cornell that I want to highlight. So one of them is access to our symposium, and we have a leadership symposium. This is a quarterly session that is hosted by Cornell and is open to everyone who is taking courses that align with a leadership vertical. So some of the courses in the certificate fall under our leadership category, and you therefore have access along with every other learner in the eCornell ecosystem taking leadership courses. The symposium topics switch every quarter, and some recent topics include avoiding pitfalls and change initiatives, facilitating healthy workplace culture, unpacking communication issues with virtual team members, and having an entrepreneurial mindset. They are a great resource. The format is a mix of lecture, discussion, breakouts, activities, sharing with folks across industries, across countries, and they're just a really fun, engaging session. These are all optional, and so if you can attend one session, 1 hour of each session, they're just great to parachute into. They occur 3 sequential days and they're run over Zoom. The next session, we don't have the exact dates yet, but they will likely occur in January of 2026. You have access to our symposium for 2 full years. So focus on your certificate, earn your certificate, and then just know you have this as a follow-up resource. And then another resource you have from Cornell is our Keynotes library. This is a series of faculty research from across the university. You can see the wide range of topics up at the top. We have these in our webcast form, which if you attend live, you can ask questions, but you also have access to the full back catalog. You can see some of our recent topics include one about racing to adapt, how banks are evolving in the age of AI and regulatory change. So very timely topics. Also one on thriving in an age of disruption, climate leadership, navigating the modern job market, all relevant, timely subjects. You can, anytime you have a little bit of time, you can access some of our back catalog of these sessions. You can also listen to them in podcast form. You can see here some of our most recent podcast topics that you can listen to while you are on the go. And then I will open it up. Now that you have a broad understanding of what to expect and what the courses look like, what the schedule looks like, how much time you can devote to each course, what some of your interactions with your colleagues will be. I just want to see if there are any remaining questions that we have that have not been answered. I'll also just glance through the chat. I see some stuff has been coming in there, but please feel free to ask any questions you have.
And while people are adding their questions into the Q&A, I just wanted to answer the question about RAC credits attached to the certificate, and you will receive 12 RAC credits for completing the program.
Perfect. Sorry about that. Yes, thank you.
No, that's okay. That is all right. But yes, please feel free to type in any other questions that you have. I know that there were a lot of great questions coming in during the presentation, so thank you for doing that.
And then, Tiffany, I know maybe one thing we want to highlight is that this certificate does fill up. We have filled up every year prior, and you all will be part of a cohort together, but we do cap enrollment in the program at 30 learners. So it is not just a massive amount of people that you don't actually get to engage or get to know each other, that we limit it to 30 learners. And this is standard across all of Cornell's programming. So you really do get to learn from each other. You really do get to know each other, and it's not just an anonymous sea of faces. So please make sure that if you haven't already done so, if you are applying, you do so as soon as possible before we do fill up.
Yes, thank you for adding that, Stephanie. That's true. And also, you learn from your cohort members just as much as you do from the experts and the faculty who develop the programs, the courses. And you can attend from anywhere in the world. So that's a great benefit to think about as well. Did we answer all the questions?
The one I saw, Tiffany, this might be a question for you. What are the application requirements?
So there's not an application. This program is designed for mid-level, senior level professionals. The first 30 to register are accepted into the program. There's no prerequisites.
And of course, you can reach out at, oops, sorry, go ahead.
I see one question in here, and I don't know if it was answered. Hi, hello, can you please share examples of the projects or assignments? Did we ask that question?
Yeah, I think we went through that. I shared some of those course projects and assignments. So I think we got that covered. Thank you, Robin. And of course, I just want to say that oftentimes, maybe after the session ends and you're kind of going back and looking at the literature, that's when your burning question will pop up. So you can always reach out to us. We're always available for any questions as you look through, as you do a deeper dive with some of the information and have any more targeted questions. We're always here as a resource.
And then do you mind going to the next slide?
Yes.
Thank you, Stephanie. So to register, you can scan this QR code or go to this URL. As Stephanie mentioned, we do limit it to 30 people. We have sold out every year. It's a great program. Don't wait, register as soon as you can. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. But yeah, we're so happy that you were here today. And that's all that we have.